Hey everybody, Alex again. Thanks for tuning in to another one of my videos. Sorry I haven't made a video in about a week and a half. I've been getting everything ready packed up for college. And one thing, the summer before college for all you high schoolers goes wicked fast. Like I'm moving in next Wednesday, heading up there next Tuesday, and it does not feel like this close. So I'm excited, but I'm sort of freaking out a little bit. And since I'm still kind of busy getting everything ready, I really wanted to get a video out to you guys. I really wanted to make an in-depth one on the college application process. But since my time's kind of limited right now, I wanted to make a quick-fire college application video. So I really wanted to focus on the two ways to really put a college application in, and that's Common App and through the school's website. And I actually kind of like the idea of making a quick-fire video because it gets all the information to you guys very quickly, and it's something that you guys can really take in because it's still very early in the college application process. But never wait until it's too late to sign up for college. Basically, this is the only time that you really have to put in applications other than grad school or other things. This is one of the biggest things you have to do. So be prompt with this, be timely with your college applications, please. And if you have a chance to do, early action, definitely do it. If you're looking at early decision, that's another great idea to do. And that's actually the first thing I'll explain in this quickfire video is early action versus early decision. A lot of colleges have something called early action, where you sign up early in about the fall of your senior year, and you basically get your notification by about January or February if you got accepted. Now this is kind of good for schools because it almost gives you two chances to get in. For Carolina, I put in early action, and I knew by the end of January that I got accepted. Now the good thing about this is that you can get waitlisted until the actual administration date. So if you do early action and say it's kind of a reach school, you get your notification back in January that you didn't get in, but you got waitlisted. Now the next administration rolls in, around April, early April, and this time you had a second chance to get in, and basically that allowed you to get into your reach school that you wanted to get in. And you can do this to an unlimited number of schools. I did this with NC State. I did this with University of North Carolina at Wilmington. I did this with Chapel Hill. I was basically done with my college application processes in late October because I took advantage of early action and I really used it. Now, schools like Wake Forest, which is also in North Carolina, uses early decision. And how early decision works, it's almost the same as early action, where you put it in a lot earlier. But if you get accepted to the school, you basically have to say that you are going there. Now this does give you a really good chance to get into that school. How Wake Forest works is they want people that really want to be a demon deacon to do early decision. Now they basically do it so that if you put in for early decision, you cannot do early action for any other school. You can only put in an early decision for Wake Forest. Now basically you'll get it around the same time, around December, January, but you have a much better chance of getting in, and you have a much better chance of actually getting probably scholarships to the school because it shows how much you want to get into that certain school. So if you really have a school that you are dead set on, early decision might be the way for you to go. If you're looking at that one school that you just always wanted to go to, and you know that you can afford it, you know that you can go to, you'll be happy there. Do early decision because if that's the school for you, that'll help you maybe get in a little bit. But if not, do early action. It gives you a nice comfort net so you can get waitlisted and maybe get in the second administration period. And plus you'll be done with college applications while everybody else is like freaking out in early January saying, oh my god, I gotta get letters of recommendation, it's due tomorrow. And you can say, hey, I've been done for 2 months, I basically figure out in 2 weeks where I'm going to be going to school. Now bringing a little bit more about the actual application process, there's two ways that you can go along with it. There's a common application basically website, and then there's just the school website itself. So how Common App works is basically a lot of schools in many states use Common App, and how Common App works is basically you do one application and you have one essay. You pick a specific essay out of a list. You only put in your information once. You have all your letters of recommendation on this page, and basically all you do is you find the school you want, you click on it, you make sure your Common App is situated for that school, and then you send it. So the benefits of Common App is basically, say you're looking for 5 colleges and all the colleges use Common App. You can basically fill out one college application, do one specific essay, get 2 generalized letters of recommendation and practically be done. All you have to do is really click them, and I think maybe a few schools require another essay, but usually the essays are only 250 words to 400 words at most, if I remember, for the specialized essays for each school. So basically, that saves you a lot of time and really saves a lot of hassle with the college application process. Now, at the same time, when I did it, I personally like to go through the school's website. Now, it takes a little bit more time. You have to fill out a little bit more stuff. But to me, I got the feel of each application. There was a couple little tweaks. UNCW, which is University of North Carolina at Wilmington, had a lot on the honors that you got, while other schools asked, you know, extra essays about analytical stuff. NC State had a lot of stuff on, what do you do, math and science, a lot of things like this, and it's a big variety as you go to the websites, and I kind of enjoyed that. It's kind of weird, but when you went to the school's website and did the college application through that, each one was a little bit different. Each one was kind of unique. So you got a little bit of a feel, and you could kind of show a little bit more about yourself. To me, Common App has basically in the name, it's common. Everybody does the same essays. Everybody fills out everything the same way. So it's very common, and that's good. If you have solid scores, if you have great, just about everything. If you want to get it done quick and you want to go it basically the quick way, do Common App. Everybody that I've talked to, there's no really better way. You have the same chance to get in. So I would advise you to probably use Common App. I was probably the weird one that went through the school's website for a couple of them. I did use Common App for about half of my colleges, but used the school's website for about the other half of my college choice. So basically, Common App is a great time saver, and it really allows you to only do one application and really only tweak a few things for each college and get it done. And in a time crunch in senior year, that could be truly beneficial. You could get it done in basically a weekend, maybe 3 days, and you're good. You're good to go. You're just waiting on your decisions. Whereas, the websites, there's certain dates it opens up. There's certain dates that you have to get it in. And it can be a little bit staggered, but at the same time, each application is a little bit different. That's one thing I noticed. Each application has its own feel to it. So if you want to go more that and tweak, say, some of your essays for the feel of each school, then I would go that route. I personally like that one, but a lot of people like Common App, so it's more of a preference thing. And going back to early action, one thing I totally forgot about was one thing about early action is a lot of colleges only give their merit scholarships to people who put in for early action. With UNC, a perfect example was I was nominated for the Moorhead Kane Scholarship, which is a merit scholarship at UNC through my school. And to be actually able to go the next round of it, you get nominated and then you have to fill out your application. You see, as you progress through the rounds, I needed to fill out my Moorhead Kane, and I needed to have my Chapel Hill application in by October 1st. And they told me this September 26th, so I freaked out. I had to get everything in, but once I had everything in, I looked around and I was like, I'm done with the application. And you really have a better chance to get some of the scholarships that could really, really help you out. Not every school, some of the schools, you only need to have a certain date. You can go on their website and they'll be like, hey, these are the scholarships that you can do. If we see that you get in at any time, then you can get these scholarships as well. But many of the merit scholarships, the ones that can really cover most or all of tuition, need to be done by the time that early action comes around. So if you really want those big scholarships, you really should put in for early action in the fall of your senior year. And one last thing I really want to focus on, I know this video kind of got long. I didn't really notice how much information I kind of had, but hopefully it's going pretty quick. And it's coming at you, but you can always send me a question if you want me to slow it down a little bit or go in depth a little bit more. But one big thing is letters of recommendation. Do not be afraid to ask for them. Many teachers are more than happy to help, but you have to ask early and you have to ask frequently. A lot of teachers at my school, teachers probably taught easily over 100 students per teacher, and that could get overwhelming because you could go to a teacher that you had your freshman year and say, hey, I need a letter of recommendation next week, and that's never the way to do it. Um, One of my favorite teachers, my calculus teacher, she's awesome, but the one thing that she was always adamant on was I will not write you a letter of recommendation unless you ask me 3 months in advance. And from the people that got it from her, she writes glowing recommendations. She will play you up. She will really make sure that you shine and that your strengths shine. But at the same time, she says, I want to have this time so that I don't feel pressured and I don't write a bad recommendation. I want to take my time. I want to look through your stuff. I want to look through your prior work, and I want to write the best thing that you can have. Now, if you came to her a week before your recommendation is due, she would politely say no. Now, some teachers, they'll write you one quickly, but some teachers won't. So it's more of you have to ask the teacher really early. Once you find out that you need letters of recommendation, start asking your junior year. End of junior year, say, hey, start looking at recommendations. Could you maybe write me a draft during the summer? And many teachers will do that, and it'll really benefit you when it comes because letters of recommendation are the big things that separate people getting in their college applications early and people freaking out on the last day because a lot of people are scared to ask their teachers. But one thing you do, you have to ask them early and you have to ask them frequently because sometimes teachers honestly forget. They're human too. So, if you keep reminding, if you keep saying, please, I need these letters of recommendation, and you ask them promptly and you say, I need them by this date, but there's plenty of time. I want to make sure that you can write a great letter of recommendation for me. Many times the teachers will write glowing letters of recommendation and you'll be really sitting high and you'll be good. So overall, the one thing that I really want to focus on is with college applications is be prompt and be timely. You know, College applications is a kind of a daunting process, but if you get started on it early, it will be so much easier than it seems. The horror stories that you hear are a lot of people who, while they didn't do it wrong, they waited a little bit longer because they thought they could get it done. But there's so many extra stuff in a lot of applications that you have to ask people for. It's not mainly how long it takes you to do it, it's how long it takes other people to do it as well. Because you need the help of your guidance counselor to get your transcripts in, you need the help of your teachers to get your letters of recommendation in, and they have other lives too. They don't revolve around you. You shouldn't go to your guidance counselor 3 days before the application is due and say, I need printed transcripts, I need letters of recommendation from you personally, because a lot of schools really need a letter of recommendation from the guidance counselor themselves, along with ones from teachers, and I need it by Friday. And then you go to your two or three teachers and say, I need glowing reviews as well. That will not work. You will be stressed. You will be freaking out. But if you go early in your senior year, I went the first week to my guidance counselor. I said, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to accomplish. And because we worked out a schedule that really allowed me to get everything in early and get everything in on time, it was a pretty easy process, and I know it'll be a pretty easy process for you guys as well. I know this got a little long. Hopefully it did help. Hopefully I'll make another one on college applications as it gets a little bit closer to the actual application time, maybe in September or October. But I will probably take a little bit of time off as I'm getting situated and adjusted to college. So if I have a little bit of a hiatus, I'll definitely get some videos for you guys once I get settled and once I get in. But I hope you guys like this. I hope it did help. I know I talk kind of quick, but I wanted to get a lot of information in this video so that I could leave you guys with a pretty good video before I head up there, and it could really help you guys out, for the next couple weeks or even the next few months. If you guys have any questions, again, send them to me. If you have any video recommendations, send them to me again. I'll be happy to do them once I get situated. You'll see a little bit of a background behind me, a little bit different background in a few weeks, but hopefully the videos will be just as good and just as informative. Guys, have a good night, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye.